Stefan, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, let's talk about your company.
All right, company is ACS Computer Services. So we've been in Carteret County since 1997. Started as a kind of a break-fix shop. So your computer was broken, you brought it to us, and we fixed it. And then we've kind of evolved.
Okay, that was back in a program you probably vaguely recall, DOS.
DOS, yes, DOS and NT. Yeah, back in the old days.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've kind of evolved from there through the customers that we got. We started getting business customers, and they needed network support, so we've branched into network support, and then now the last couple of years the focus has been on cybersecurity and protecting those businesses from the ever-growing threats that are out there.
It's interesting, the aspect of it. And again, Stefan Hellersperk with us, and I just want to make mention of the fact we're going to be talking to him on a regular basis because I'm looking forward to this. This is an important issue. Everyone now is reliant on computers. Every activity, the technology. I mean, our banking, even in many regards, the control and operations of our homes.
Sure. Yeah. The internet has opened that
OTC,
internet,
over the top.
Over the top, yeah.
Yeah, technology. So our phones, our refrigerators, everything is keeping track of us.
Right, and that's why it's important to protect your accounts, not use the same passwords across the accounts. So that way, if
1, 2, 3, 4 doesn't.
No, 1, 2, 3. You got to add an asterisk or something at the end of it. Yeah. But that's one of the basic things that we try to educate people on it. And I cringe when people tell me, we sometimes we need to collect passwords to fix issues.
You're right.
And they'll say, well-meaning, but they'll say, oh, that's the password I use for everything. And that's one of those things. One, that's not a great thing for you to do because you especially banking and those things. If you're using that for one thing and it gets found out, and they can go and they can control your stuff at your house, or they can get into your bank, it's definitely a huge problem.
And to associate this with this program, but also the whole issue, we think, well, we're in Carteret County, we're quasi-rural community. We don't have those kind of problems.
Yeah, you definitely have those problems. We deal with them every day.
Right here.
It's Carteret County.
We're talking with Stefan Hellersperk. And again, the organization is ACS Computer Services. And Stefan, before we go any further, let's tell folks, how can they reach out to you?
Yeah, main phone number is 252-240-3399.
240-3339.
Yeah, $33.99.
$33.99. Okay, yep. All divisible by 3, by the way.
Yep, and or email acsmain@acsit.biz.
All right, acsit.biz.
Right.
Okay. All right. This is one of those situations where I think we want to ignore. Well, I shouldn't say ignore. We want to set aside the concern of our computer technology and how we treat it, and in the process, hope that we're such small fry that the bad actors won't seek us out.
Right. And that might have been the case years ago, because years ago it was more complicated to attack.
Mm-hmm.
So the bigger targets were where you went. Now the ease of those attacks, even people without skills can go buy the programs on the dark web to hack people, and it just gets to the point where it doesn't matter how big the target is because it's automated and it just happens.
Well, the other aspect of that is artificial intelligence.
Right.
And we're all being enticed to get into, Copilot with Microsoft.
Right.
I don't remember the other ones, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Others.
I use ChatGPT all the time.
Okay. And so I can talk to my computer and say, help me out. I want to hack into, or what do I need to do?
Right. Well, ChatGPT being on the reputable side will not answer that for you, but there are AIs that will. And the dark web, which is a real thing, is a place where you can go buy those programs already pre-made, canned, ready to go.
Like I said at the opening, that if you're getting a phone call from one of those services saying, we've had somebody open an account in your name, or We have a concern about a purchase you've made, maybe the condition of the deed of your house or your car or something of this nature. We see that you've changed your license tags. My response to that is you're well down the road of disaster at that point.
Right. And you have to be careful that's a valid request also.
That's another.
They will prey on you thinking, oh, I don't want that to happen. Around Christmas time is the biggest time. You'll get an email saying, hey, we couldn't deliver that package, and you're thinking, oh, grandma's present.
Yes.
I need to track it and make sure, and then you're going down the road of giving information to people that shouldn't have it.
It fascinates me, and about the interesting story. It was a member of the Treasury, if I'm not mistaken, who was scammed out of a large sum of money. I'm thinking in the number close to $500,000, and I'm thinking, wait a second, we're talking about people who have great deal of education, financial education, math, logic.
These scams are very, very well constructed, very well executed, and even the smart people can get if you don't have that mindset that I need to stop, not share information, make sure that I'm talking to the right person.
All right. Of course, that's very easy to do when you're thinking about it.
Right.
But if you're busy, you're rushing through a lot of paperwork, and all of a sudden something comes across your desk and it catches you at the right moment. Now they've sent out 50,000 of these emails. One of those 50,000 recipients got caught, distracted, and they said, yes, go ahead and accomplish the task, whatever it is. Send the information, send the Social Security number, whatever. Those circumstances then generate penetration, if you will, hacking into the system. Let's talk about what you do in those instances. And again, we're talking with Stefan Hellersperk of ACS Computer Services. What, if I've done, what do I do? What should I do?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the importance is trying to put checks in place beforehand. So what we try to do with our customers is put protections in place so that emails are flagged as possible spam. So that gives you, in that busy day, if the top of the email says, hey, this might be, your software looked at it and it's flagging it as red, maybe this doesn't look right, that makes you stop and say, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't. Protections on the computer so that, you don't, if you do click on something you shouldn't, the software says, hey, this doesn't look right. Or we get a call saying, hey, this computer looks like it's infected. We'll disconnect it from the network. Those are all important things, you want to do ahead of time. Now, obviously, if you get later on down the road and you're infected, you need to stop whatever, stop the damage by stopping whatever has happened. If your computer is infected, disconnected from your network, just pull the network or shut it down.
Right.
So that if there is a program that's running on it that's collecting information or spamming out or whatever it might be doing, it stops whatever is happening.
I think that's an important comment. And, a lot of people are thinking, oh, gee, I'm going to lose the information that I had on the computer if I do turn it off. But it's better to lose an hour's worth of work than to lose a year's worth of enterprise.
Yeah, you'll lose whatever's resident in memory. If you were working on a file and you didn't save it, you will lose that. But anything that's saved on the hard drive, pulling the power from it or the network from it is not going to lose that.
In your conversations, and again, this is a new program we're instituting here, and I think this is important for our audience. And I say that without question. Everything we do is related to the internet.
For sure.
Everything. And particularly financial issues. As a matter of fact, banks are now even charging for the transition of checks, transfer of checks. They don't want checks. They want you to use ACH.
Right.
And this is an open door to your checking account or savings account.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, once you share those routing numbers and account numbers, there's very little check and balance in there, and I'm not sure what your recourse is with
Well,
the bank.
I'm going to tell a personal experience. The question was, the requirement was for me to related to a credit situation. Send a copy of my driver's license and personal, not personal, but information about the company, et cetera, so that they could verify that I was who I said I was.
Right.
But I'm thinking to myself, wait a second. If I send them my driver's license, they've got all the basic information.
Got everything they need. Yeah.
They can create a new me.
Right.
Probably not as good looking, but still a new me. But that with artificial intelligence, and it leads me to one other experience, and that was an insurance company I was dealing with, and they said, "Look, we can avoid the whole issue of using passwords and codes to get into your program. We'll just verify you by voice recognition."
Right.
And I'm thinking, with AI now,
Yeah, it's very easy to do.
how can you trust the voice that you're hearing is really Stefan Hellersperk?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you're here in the studio. I'm looking at you eyeball to eyeball.
Right.
Unless AI is determined they can better.
Yeah, we're working on it with an AI company right now that offers the service to clone me. It will clone my voice and clone my image so that I can create recurring content without having to take the time to do the content. All I have to do is dump the script,
Right.
and it creates the person, and it's very scarily. I did it with my wife without the voice, so it was my face, my lip moving, but it was somebody else's voice, and it was pretty freaky.
This is, again, one of the benefits of what we're about to embark on, you and I, and this Stefan Hellersperk again with us with ACS Computers. I think this is an important issue.
Very important, yeah.
And we're talking about, quite frankly, one of the top 3 issues in the country. I mean, you've got financial issues, you've got topics associated with our living conditions.
Right.
But
it's all tied together.
It's all tied together.
It's all tied together. Everything that you do in your life now is almost 100% of it is tied to the internet or some kind of account, your phone.
By the way, that's another issue. I'm people tie their phone to their computer.
Right.
And so that means their computer is with them wherever they go, which is a nice convenience until somebody steals your phone.
Right. And it's all about protection. You mentioned, we're a small rural community. I'm not worried about that kind of stuff, but if you put forth just a little bit of effort to secure your information, the 2-factor authentication, it's a pain, but it protects you. Just like you said, if you grab this phone right now, you can't use it because
Right.
it's locked.
Mm-hmm.
And it's locked with a code or my fingerprint.
Mm-hmm.
And if you put that code in wrong 10 times, it'll delete that phone.
Okay.
And I've done it by accident. I did it one night. I don't know what happened. The phone was next to my bed, and
Right.
I must have just kept tapping it in the middle of the night. And I got up the next morning, and I went to look at my phone and said, well, you put your password in 10 times wrong, and we deleted it. Luckily, all my stuff is cloud-based, so I can put it back in. But
we're going to do a series of conversations about this going forward, and I just want to make mention of this one more time as we wrap it up with Stefan Hellersperk with us. One more time before I forget, let's go about how to reach out to you. A 252 area code, 240-3399.
Right.
I remembered that's easy. 240-3399.
And the website's acsit.biz. You can get information from us there. You can book discovery calls and get support straight from the site.
This is an important story, and I really welcome you to the program. And I think the important aspect of this is making our audience aware. A lot of people are assuming, I'm at home, I don't have to worry about it. I don't have any business. I'm retired.
Yeah, same. They're almost a bigger target now because they're usually those kind of people are looking at their 401k, their retirement accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Decent amount of money for some, and if you don't protect that access,
there's no such thing as a decent amount of money for some.
that's-
Any amount of money is,
exactly.
and we're always looking. We need more, as a matter of fact. I think it's an important story, and I think the other aspect, and when we get into longer conversations on this and more, I think one of the issues is how do we go about reacting to scams, things of this nature. How do we, what should we do? In other words, who should we call? That sort of thing.
Right, and we feel as a service to our customers, we always tell them, listen, if you get into a situation, you get a phone call, you get a message on your screen, if it raises any alarms in you, pick up the phone and call us, because we've seen all the scams, we've seen all the screens, we know what they are, and we will tell you what to do, you know, from that point forward. And I think that's an important resource for people to have available to them.
ACS Computer Services, and again, it's the website again is ACSIT.biz.
Right.
Okay, Stefan, thanks very much for being with us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.